So welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, this video is going to be different. As I mentioned, I will not be talking about myself. And before I even introduce this new video or today's video, thank you so much for all those people who reached out on me after the video I released last week. Thank you for the support you've shown. Okay, and even if I'm not okay, I'm going to be okay, my people. I'm going to be okay. So the least you can do is just be there for me. Just don't remind me how strong I am. I know I am strong. Just be there for me. Some calls, some love, send some hugs. I need that right now. Not to be reminded how strong I am and how I've overcome a lot of. I know I have done all that. I just need that compassion and some love. Yeah. So today's video is going to be different. I have a guest. I've invited someone to my channel. As I said, I want to create this platform for people who have gone through some traumas or something like me. And I hope this is the content you've been waiting for. And I'm really excited about this venture. And stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, show this video some love. Click that notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I'm uploading a new video. And if this video resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to come to my channel and share your story, feel free to share your contact on the comment section and I'm going to reach out to you. So as I'm waiting for my participant, I've launched a group coaching program for 60 days and it's going to start on 5th April. For those who want to join the program, make sure you continue signing in before time goes up or before the slots are off. So make sure you do that very fast. We are going to learn a lot from that program, targeting to lose 10 kgs in those 60 days. Without working out, no restrictive diets, and ensure that you're going to go down 2 dresses down. So subscribe and stay tuned. I've introduced the video, we can just begin. You will introduce.
Okay.
Because here is my guest, my people. Her name is Anne. She's going to introduce us.
Okay. Hi guys. My name is Anya Roche. I'm an entrepreneur and an IPT specialist. I don't know. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous.
Relax.
Okay, I'm just gonna breathe.
What did you mean by saying you are an IPT specialist? People don't know. Maybe tell them.
Oh, yes, I keep forgetting. So IPT is interpersonal psychotherapy. It's part of psychology. So I mainly specialize in that. Yes.
So you are a therapist.
Yes, I am a therapist.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself without including your career.
Okay. Anne is wow. I've never really okay, so I've never really introduced myself outside of my job, which is crazy. So I am oh my goodness. I don't know how to introduce myself.
You don't know you.
Okay, that is the weirdest thing. Okay, so who is Anne? Anne is outside being a sister, a mom, a friend.
Who is Anne? Without attaching yourself with something else.
Okay, so okay. So I am, and I am a very oh my goodness, this is the worst.
Yeah,
I should have a life, right?
right.
Like literally, I'm stumped. Like I can't introduce myself
Let me
without
give you an
attaching myself.
let me introduce myself. Like, who is Jackie?
Yes, yes,
Jackie is
please.
just a simple, good-hearted person.
Mm-hmm.
Is introverted. I
Mm-hmm.
when you hear me loud around you, just know that I'm comfortable with you. I love
Mm-hmm.
space. I love uh, I love people. I love life. Sometimes I might appear like I have it all figured out, but don't let that trick you. I do not know anything. I suck sometimes. I'm not perfect, and I'm a work in progress. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so if I start introducing myself, I would definitely start with Anya Rocha is a work in progress. I know. Uh I'm one of those kind people, but I think at some point I learned that when you're very kind, people tend to take advantage of it. So again, I am really working on just, saying no really hard, but yeah, I and over the course of my job, I've learned a lot. So yes, a work in progress, a very fun loving person. I am super outgoing, but I can be an introvert. I think I'm one of those people who just first of all I gauge the surrounding around me, and also the kind of vibe you give me, I'll give that back to you. So, but generally, I am a very, very open person. I am a very free person. I am very social. So if I am with you and I am not social, probably there's a reason why. Yeah. I know it's a very weird way to introduce myself, but I think yeah, I I I, I think I got it kind of nailed on. I
You
know it's crazy that when you tell me to introduce myself, I'm like, who the hell am I without all this attachment?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
means you need to work on that. You've attached your identity with what you do, your job, your surroundings,
Yeah.
which is normal. We tend to do that, especially moms. We tend to do that. But it's
Yes.
important to know, who am I without kids? Who am I without that job? Because when that job is not there, you want to tell me Anne is no longer there.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now, thank you for your introduction. Now, welcome. Feel free, relax, and tell us what happened. Everything unfiltered.
Okay. So okay, so where do I begin from? So I think sometime last year in July, August, I got pregnant. And this is the weirdest thing though. I actually didn't know I was pregnant until when my miscarriage was happening. So I was sick, and then I had all these cramps, and I thought, oh, okay, my period is coming. But it was very weird because um it was very abnormal, and then even the cramps, it was just super intense. Like I had this really intense cramps.
Mm,
So I said I'm going to take painkillers. So I tried to, I think I took painkillers. I took some paracetamol, but it wasn't subsiding.
mm,
I normally don't have the painful cramps, but this one was just, it wasn't normal. And then the bleeding was a little too much. So in a span of 2 hours, I went through a lot of pads, and I was like, no, okay, something is wrong. So I went to the hospital, and then the doctor asked, like, when is the last time you had your period? And I was like, sometimes I'm irregular, so I'm late. Last month I was late. I didn't think much of it. I was late. So I was like, it's normal for me to be late. And he was like, we need to do a pregnancy test. And it's like, yeah, but I'm on my period. And he insists, no, let's do a pregnancy test first. So we do a pregnancy test and it's positive. And he's like, yeah, you're literally in the middle of a miscarriage. And it was crazy because I didn't know I was pregnant.
Yeah.
But then now I am losing this pregnancy.
Yes.
And yeah, so that was very traumatizing, learning you're pregnant while losing the pregnancy.
Yeah.
It was really crazy because it had a very emotional turmoil on me. I think it did make me go through depression because I had all this. I had been trying to get pregnant, but I wasn't like very set on it. I was like, if it happens. And because I know I've had issues in the past with fertility, so I just told myself that I'm not going to pressure myself. If it happens, it happens. And I was like, I'm going to give myself a year, and then I would do IVF. So this was that. Okay, I've never really talked about this out loud. It's crazy.
And that's
Yeah, so it was just one of those experiences where, okay, yeah, I didn't know I have it, but now that I have it, I'm losing it. I've been wanting it, but I've just been trying to not pressure myself. So it's in that bit. And then of course I went through they had to, so I was put under I know wanasemanga kuoshwa.
yeah, yeah.
I know there's a medical term. Yeah, there's a medical term for it that I'm looking for, but right now it's kind of disappeared from my head. So yeah, and then I went back home, and now I think breaking the news, I think that's sort of when you go through those stages of grief, like at once when you're like, no,
Yeah.
no, I
Yeah.
am no, wait if there's a mistake. So I went through denial, I went through anger, I went through bargaining, like all in a span of when I woke up in the morning, and by the time I was going to sleep, it was it was just crazy because I had all these things going through my head. I was just trying to process everything, because you wake up, you're okay, you're on your period, you're pregnant, you're losing that baby. It was a lot to just happen in a span of one day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a very crazy time for me, and I did go through depression. Yeah.
And how was the journey like? As you mentioned, like it was too much, but maybe you could mention the whatever
Mhm.
it is that you are feeling, you know?
uh well, a lot of guilt because that month I had partied a lot. Like I drank, I went out. So I was like, what if it's the drinking that caused the miscarriage? What if maybe I went in a club and someone was smoking and that is what caused my miscarriage? And though the doctor was like, sometimes these things happen, especially when you reach a certain age, and because you've also had all these other miscarriages, but this one felt like I was responsible. Like I should have known better. Like I shouldn't have been going out that much. I shouldn't have been stressing myself that much. Because um because I was out partying and then I was working. So I was like, okay, fine. Maybe I would have just been that responsible person who I don't know. not had a life kind of situation. Like, you just go to work and then you come home and then, but I think looking back, that's a crazy way to think because,
Yeah,
if,
yeah.
yeah, you can't, yeah. I, it took me a while to realize that I had no control over that situation whatsoever.
Mm, completely.
And I know it wasn't my fault, but at that particular time, I felt very guilty. I felt very responsible. I felt like this is my fault. Like I would have been those others, she just happened, but oh, Melo to sorry. Yeah, but this one just felt like, yes, this is on you. This is your fault because you went out drinking, because you went out clubbing, because you work too much, because you put yourself under so much pressure and stress, and you are in your 30s, so you should know better. But I know that I know right now that that wasn't the case, but at that particular time, those were the emotions that were going through my mind. And I think that is what actually synced me into the depression, because I really, really felt so guilty. I felt so responsible for it.
Mm,
And then I kind of sat down. And it's the thing is when you have a big family, they sort of which is a good thing because they're there for you, they're trying to shield you, they're trying to be like, don't cry. So now you don't express
how
uh
you feel.
your emotions
Yeah.
because everyone is like, they're here for you, whatever you need, but they don't give you that space to grieve. Because
Mm.
I think I needed to grieve, and everyone around me was being very supportive, and so I didn't have that outlet. And
So
so I just uh-huh.
we would say that you would have preferred them to be there
Uh-huh.
for you, but allow
Mhm.
you to express how you feel.
Yes, yes.
That is something they robbed you, even if they were there for you. Can we
Okay, I
say
hope they
that?
don't see this. I hope they did I hope they really don't see this.
No,
And
it's
they
to,
are
the reason why we are doing this interview is to help someone out there, support someone who has gone through this in a better way. We
yes,
come through
yeah, yeah,
other people's experiences. So that is
yes,
one thing people do. They are there, they are shielding you and making you not
yes,
to express everything and feel it. And if it's crying, if it's everything,
exactly.
and that will help you, it will make you delay the grief. Like it will be like a
Yes,
grief which is continuous instead of maybe dealing with it like a 3-month thing or a 1-month thing, right?
yes, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think if someone is in a situation where I am, at that point where everyone is like, they're being there for you. So you see, if you try to cry, also for you, you feel like you're being ungrateful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So also you try to be strong for them. And I think in psychology terms, it's where when you do that circle of grief,
Mm.
where people expect that when you have grief, like it becomes a big circle and then it goes smaller, but actually you're supposed to the vacuum around you is supposed to get bigger,
Smaller.
not so you're supposed to learn how to deal with these emotions and just expand instead of the emotions going down. Okay, now I'm making it complicated. Talking about is the circle of grief, like how other people expect your grief to go versus how it should be.
Oh yeah.
So it's like people expect that when you're going through grief, you have like this big circle
Mm.
and it's supposed to go small, small until it's like this
Oh, oh
tiny.
yeah.
Yes,
I
yeah,
get
that's the
your point.
circle I'm talking about,
I
not
get
the
your point.
circle of people around you. Yeah,
Yes.
no, you get it, yeah?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yeah.
But it
As opposed
doesn't go
to,
smaller.
no, it doesn't.
It goes
It doesn't go smaller. it just because you're supposed to remain the constant, and then the vacuum around you is supposed to help you accommodate, so that when you get to a point, like after 3 months, you talk about it, you don't break down. Not that I'm saying that if you're going through trauma, every time you talk about it, breaking down is bad, but you should be able to get to a point where you can actually be able to talk about something and not break down, and you can be able to um talk about and deal, and be in a space where if someone has a kid, you can deal with the fact that this person has a child and you don't. And so I know that the grieving process is it's a bit complicated.
Yeah.
But I know we digressed. I am so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. You mentioned when you were talking, because you just, yeah, which is so good. I love it. It's a platform for someone to just express themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
So you mentioned that, I don't know if I heard you right, like
Mm-hmm.
it has happened again. Have you had a miscarriage again?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, it's motherhood journey has been a struggle.
Mhm.
I think in the past, or I don't know if this one was at that point, because I had to see someone. I had to sit down with a counselor and just um deal with it.
Mm.
And so I guess uh in the past, again, I've always had family, and it sort of heals naturally, kind of.
Yeah,
But this was the one time that I actually dealt with, and I think I kind of I kind of dealt with everything when I started seeing a professional, when I started seeing a psychologist. And also getting into the field of psychology really helped me a lot, because I know every other day I have to deal with people who have been in the same situation. I have to deal with people who have had mothers who've lost their children,
yeah,
mothers who've gone through miscarriages. I've had to deal with people who have lost someone. And in psychology, you deal with a lot.
yeah,
So also, I think that has been a platform that has really helped me a lot, because then you also learn all these unhealthy ways of dealing with the trauma, of dealing with stuff. And
yeah,
I think most of the time what we do is we use numbness. You go through trauma and then you become numb,
yeah,
and you use it as a shield, and you build that wall, and then you just put things in a box, and then you lock that box, and then you don't deal with it. And
yeah,
of course, you're a human being. You're going to come across all these things, and every time you come across, it's like that wound has been opened again.
yeah,
But when you deal with it, then also you as a person, it helps you a lot. You heal. You actually get to heal. You actually get to be able to be in a position like I am today, where I can be like, I've had miscarriages in the past, and I'm not breaking down.
mm.
And so for me, joining the field of psychology really helped me with that a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what can you tell someone who has gone through miscarriage or lost a baby, or they are struggling to be pregnant?
Well, I think it's just um finding a healthy way of healing, because it's painful. So if you need to cry, you do. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to just find a space and scream, do that.
Mm.
I remember there was a time I sat in a matatu and I cried all the way from town to my home, and this person seated next to me was a man, and I am so sorry. It really traumatized him a lot, because he was wondering, why are you crying? So he's just like trying to stop me from crying, and he's like, whatever it is, it's gonna get better. But I think I was just in my zone because I needed to cry. And I cried for 45 minutes straight. And I think when I was alighting, he was like, "Are you going to be okay? Do you need me to take you home?" I was like, "I'm good." And I think he looked at me like I was a psycho because who cries? And then you reach a destination and you're like, "I'm good." But
Women
I
do.
realized that I needed that.
Totally, women do. Yeah, yeah. Ah,
But it was so healthy for me. It was so freeing because I think that was the only space where I could safely cry. Because I knew if I came home and cried at home, everyone would be concerned, like, why are you crying? What's up? Everyone would try to make me feel better. And I needed to cry. So if you're going through a miscarriage, and then also do not ever let anyone minimize your pain. People tend to do that a lot. People tend to tell you, you are too young, at least you have another child. And it does not help.
yeah.
I feel you. No, you don't.
Don't.
So
You don't.
stop telling people you feel them. You don't. You do not know what they are going through. So please stop telling people, I know what you're going through. No, you don't.
Don't.
If you have been in a similar situation, share your situation, but don't tell someone you know exactly what they're going through. No, you don't.
You don't.
You don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just allow people to have that space to grieve. Because if you go through a miscarriage, you go through a loss.
Yeah.
You have to grieve. It is important to have that space to grieve. Yeah. So just you need what you need to do. Just you have to just be careful that you don't sink into depression, but also make sure that you go through that process because it's important. Because if you need to cry, cry. If you need a minute to be alone to process your grief, that's okay. Do that. It will help you further along. It will get you to a space where you can talk to another woman who's pregnant. It can get to a space where you can be like, okay, so I went through the same thing and this is how I healed. It's all about you healing. Because I don't think that I can be able to equate my pain with someone else's. And that's what we try to do as human beings.
Exactly.
You try to be like, yes, I was in the same exact position like you. No, the worst thing someone will tell you is, oh, but you have another child, why are you worrying? Or when someone will be like, well, at least you didn't know you're pregnant, or it was just 1 month, or it was just 2 months, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
Very.
Don't do that to another person. Yeah.
It sucks. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Is there any positive thing you learned from your experience?
Whew. um I think I learned my strength. Okay, so a little background. When I was going through all that, I was also doing this program with pregnant teenagers. And every time I sat across a young girl who was like, I'm pregnant and I do not want it, it was trauma. That was really hard because I I am struggling to get pregnant, and you got pregnant without even trying, and you don't want it.
Yeah.
And you can imagine you
Yeah.
can imagine being in that position where you're talking to someone who has something that you would kill for,
Yeah.
and they don't want it, and you're just trying to help them come to terms, and you have to help them go through this situation where you have to be like, okay, fine, so this is the decision you've made. What are the consequences? And you have to counsel this young person. You're not going to, obviously you're not going to encourage them to have an abortion or whatever, but also you have to respect whatever decisions they make. And it was extremely difficult just to not scream at someone and be like, you have no idea what you want. Or when you're talking to this teenager and they're like, I went for my scan and I was told I'm having a girl and I really wanted a boy, and that is making me depressed. And the only thing you can do is hold yourself back from throwing something across the table at them. And just being like, you have no idea what women are going through out here to just be in a position to say, I am pregnant. They don't even care. As long as I have a baby, that's it. So I think I kind of learned I really learned my strength from that. And the fact that I got through that whole situation without ever raising my voice or screaming or throwing someone
or breaking down,
throwing something at a client. I think that took a lot of restraint. And yeah, so I think at that point, yeah, I really learned my strength. Yeah.
All right, we are running.
And also just value family. They're a gem.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Wow, that was a very deep interview. You're actually my first client, first participant in this venture of women who are going through miscarriage, or they've lost a baby in either way, either abortion, miscarriage, or after they've given.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for being free and telling us things the way they are. I'm very sure this is going to help someone out there who is going through that, or maybe struggling to be pregnant, or maybe who are a couple of miscarriages like yourself. And maybe if you have other people who have gone through the same, I wouldn't mind you encourage them to reach out to me so that they can share their story, because even sharing still is helping you to healing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So when we do these interviews, on the last thing we do is you tell us something you've learned about me. A few times
isn't this going to be a bit biased? Because I actually know you, so isn't going to be a bit biased?
No, one thing you have learned from me.
One thing I've learned from you.
Yes.
I've actually learned quite a lot. I love the way you're a go-getter. You go, you get it. I love that about you.
Wow. I'm a girl. I get it.
Yeah, you go, you get, and I love that about you. So I do, but it's just there's so many nice qualities, good qualities. If we start, you're not gonna finish.
Just
But I
tell
think
me 5. You've said 4 more.
Okay, so I did kind of shoot myself on the foot with this one, right? Oh my good. So I'm supposed to tell you 5.
Yeah. Yes. I'm learning myself. I'm on that work of trying to learn the blind side of me, how people know me. Yeah.
Okay. So I think one of the things that I ever first noticed about you was how you set your boundaries. You have this, like, this is my line, do not cross. And I really admire that. I really aspire to get to that point where you don't even have to say it. It's just a non-verbal way of, this is my boundary, do not cross it. Yeah. Like, we are friends, but yeah, this is where I get my limit. And you do that. And I was like, ooh, how do I get that? Because I know sometimes I really let people cross my boundaries, though I'm a lot of working process. But yeah, I have. Number 3, you're very sweet.
Oh, oh.
You are. And
Uh-huh.
then you are good company.
Mhm.
Like we can talk for hours. We can actually talk for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if I bring that in you because I know you are a lot of an introvert, but we have that vibe. We can always talk and talk and talk, and I love that. How many have I said? At Africa 5.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten to 5 yet.
I'm just writing them down.
No, yeah. I think if anyone got to know you on a personal level and you let them in, oh my God, they have hit the jackpot. I'm not just saying that's like
I feel so
yeah.
good. When you say that, I feel so good. I've been through a lot, like since this year started, and
Mhm.
when I hear people reminding me how I made them feel, it makes
Yeah.
me push, keep on pressing on, keep on embracing everything that is happening in me, and appreciate that I'm a work in progress and I don't need to be perfect to. Yeah,
Aren't we all work in progress?
yeah. I didn't know you admire
Yeah.
that in me. Sometimes I always question my boundaries. I'm like, did I let that slip? Did I? But I think it's
No.
sometimes we are too hard on ourselves, and I tend to do that sometimes. But I didn't know I have all those things, and that's how you see me. So you will come for lessons upon you might attend, and I really
Is the
appreciate.
programming lessons? Absolutely.
Yeah, please. I really appreciate. We have like 3 minutes. I really appreciate for this. I I I, I woke up so feeling so down, but now I'm energized. I feel my dopamine is so there. So thank you very much, Anne. I'm grateful I met you.
Yeah.
Actually, I
Mhm.
see has made us grow. It has also helped me with a lot, with the
Yeah.
loss, the grief. It has helped me on how to deal with it properly. And by helping
Yeah.
people, I've realized that you are helping yourself. So
Yes. True.
you guys, we are both IPT specialists. We help mothers who are dealing with depression, postpartum
Yeah.
depression, and
Yes.
young women or adolescents or pregnant young girls. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what we do, and we've really learned a lot. As I've said, if you are struggling with this, kindly share your story or your number on the comment section, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, share with your friends and whoever who needs to hear this. So, parting shot,
Yes.
what can we say?
Um, don't let your scars determine who you are. They
Wow.
just scars. Yes.
I need to put that like a affirmation voice for me every morning. Don't let your scars define who you
Yeah.
are.
Exactly.
And that was the best parting shot. I'm going to end this meeting right away. And thank you very much for availing yourself, for your time, and for being vulnerable on my platform.
And thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me. I woke up feeling sick, and this has it's weird. We're talking about loss, and it has been one of those uplifting things for me. So
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome, and have a fantastic day.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.